After the age of 60, one of the most important steps you can take to protect your heart is controlling blood pressure. And while most people think of fat or sugar as the main culprits, salt is often the hidden danger that does the most damage. The truth is, it's not just salty foods that put you at risk, it's the everyday salt habits you don't even notice. High salt intake makes the body retain water, which increases blood volume and forces the heart to pump harder. Over time, this constant strain stiffens arteries, raises blood pressure, and increases the risk of heart attacks and strokes. For older adults whose arteries are already less flexible, the effects are even more harmful. The challenge is that many people don't realize how much salt they're consuming. From sprinkling extra salt at the table, to relying on processed foods, to trusting misleading low-salt labels, these habits quietly load the body with sodium. The result is a heart working overtime without you even realizing it. The good news? With just a few simple changes, you can fix these habits, lower blood pressure naturally, and protect your circulation. In this video, we'll uncover the 3 worst salt habits and the 3 best fixes you can start today. 1. Why adding salt at the table out of habit damages your heart. For many people, reaching for the salt shaker before even tasting their food is second nature. It feels harmless, a small sprinkle to bring out the flavor. But for people over 60, this habit can be one of the most damaging to heart health. That extra pinch of salt isn't just seasoning. It's an unnecessary sodium overload that quietly raises blood pressure and strains circulation. The main problem is that most meals already contain plenty of sodium before the salt shaker even touches the plate. Whether food is cooked at home, in a restaurant, or bought as a ready meal, salt is almost always added during preparation. By sprinkling more at the table, you're often doubling or even tripling your sodium intake without realizing it. Many people don't notice just how much sodium they're consuming until they check labels or speak with a healthcare professional. This unseen excess is particularly concerning for those over 60 because aging arteries are less flexible and more sensitive to changes in blood pressure. Excess sodium forces the body to retain water, which increases blood volume. This makes the heart work harder to pump blood through stiffening arteries. Over time, this constant pressure damages artery walls, accelerates plaque buildup, and raises the risk of heart attack, stroke, and kidney disease. In real-life terms, this can mean that everyday activities like walking upstairs, carrying groceries, or even simple chores can place additional stress on the heart. Older adults may not feel these effects immediately, but the cumulative impact on circulation and cardiac health is significant. Another issue is taste conditioning. The more salt you add, the more your taste buds adapt, and soon you need larger amounts to feel satisfied. This creates a cycle where food tastes bland without heavy salting, pushing you further into unhealthy territory. For someone who has spent decades cooking and seasoning in the same way, breaking this habit can feel difficult, but it is possible. The good news is that this habit is one of the easiest to break. Start by tasting your food before adding any extra salt. You may be surprised that it's flavorful enough already. Next, experiment with natural flavor enhancers like garlic, lemon juice, herbs, and spices. These add depth and complexity without sodium, retraining your taste buds to appreciate flavor without relying on salt. Even simple adjustments, like adding a squeeze of lemon to vegetables or sprinkling fresh herbs on meat, can make a noticeable difference. Research shows that people who gradually reduce their salt intake adjust within just a few weeks, and soon foods taste perfectly seasoned without the shaker. By breaking the habit of salting food automatically, you're not only reducing your sodium intake, but also lowering blood pressure, easing strain on your arteries, and protecting your heart for years to come. Consistency matters. The more regularly you practice tasting before salting, the quicker your body and taste buds will adapt. That harmless sprinkle at the table may feel small, but over time, it adds up to big risks. Breaking the habit is a powerful first step toward better circulation and stronger heart health after 60. By making this one small change, you can help your heart pump more efficiently, protect your arteries, and enjoy meals that are flavorful without the extra sodium. Over weeks and months, this tiny shift can contribute to a lifetime of healthier circulation and reduced cardiovascular strain. 2. How processed foods and ready meals quietly overload you with sodium. Processed foods and ready meals are convenient, affordable, and often marketed as time savers for busy people. But for anyone over 60, relying on them too often can quietly overload your body with sodium, raising blood pressure and putting your heart at risk. The danger is that you don't always taste the salt it's hidden in the food long before it reaches your plate. Packaged soups, canned vegetables, frozen dinners, and even healthy options like turkey slices or veggie burgers can contain staggering amounts of sodium. Manufacturers add it not only for flavor but also as a preservative to extend shelf life and maintain texture. A single frozen entree, deli sandwich, or can of soup can deliver more than half of your recommended daily sodium intake in just one serving. And most people don't stop at one serving. Many of these packages encourage larger portions, meaning you may unknowingly exceed your safe sodium limit in a single meal. The problem becomes much worse when these foods are eaten daily. Unlike a simple sprinkle of salt at the table, processed foods deliver concentrated doses of sodium with every bite. This constant overload forces your body to hold on to fluid, raising blood volume and pushing blood pressure higher day after day. Over time, the strain damages arteries, weakens the heart muscle, and increases the risk of stroke, kidney disease, and heart failure. What may feel like a quick fix for dinner can, in reality, be slowly eroding your circulatory health. For older adults, the effects are especially severe. As we age, the kidneys lose some of their efficiency at filtering excess sodium. That means the body becomes more sensitive to salt, and the same sodium-heavy meal that a younger person could tolerate may push blood pressure to dangerous levels in someone over 60. This added sensitivity makes processed and packaged foods far riskier for older adults than for younger generations. The tricky part is that processed foods don't always taste salty. Many people assume that as long as a food doesn't taste salty, it's safe, but that isn't true. Bread, cereals, sauces, condiments, salad dressings, and even sweet-baked goods can carry hidden sodium that adds up throughout the day. By the time you sit down for dinner, you may have already doubled your safe daily sodium intake without realizing it. This hidden salt is what makes processed foods particularly dangerous. They condition you to underestimate your actual intake. The good news is that there are simple ways to break this cycle. Fresh, whole foods can be just as convenient once you make them a habit. Cooking simple meals at home with fresh vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains gives you full control over how much salt you add. Preparing soups, stir-fries, or roasted vegetables in larger batches and freezing them means you'll always have something quick to reheat, with far less sodium than a store-bought ready meal. Even small shifts like choosing fresh fruit over packaged snacks or seasoning with herbs and lemon instead of bottled sauces can reduce sodium intake significantly. Relying on processed foods may seem to save time in the short term, but over the years, it can cost your heart dearly. By gradually shifting toward fresh, homemade meals, you give your arteries the break they need, lower your risk of heart disease, and support healthier blood pressure for the long run. The convenience of processed foods comes with a hidden price tag, but the power to protect your heart is on your plate. 3. Why low, salt, and diet foods can still put your heart at risk. One of the most deceptive salt habits after 60 is trusting food labels that claim low salt, reduced sodium, or diet-friendly. These words sound reassuring, as if the product is automatically safe for your heart. But in reality, many of these foods still contain more sodium than your body needs, and often replace salt with other additives that can harm circulation in different ways. Take reduced sodium soups or sauces as an example. By law, a product only needs to have 25% less sodium than the regular version to earn this label. That may sound like a lot, but if the original product was extremely salty to begin with, the reduced version may still contain a dangerously high amount of sodium per serving. Imagine a can of soup with 1,000 milligrams of sodium per serving. A reduced sodium version at 750 milligrams is still half your safe daily intake in just one bowl. Many canned goods, packaged sauces, and frozen meals fall into this trap, misleading people into thinking they're making a heart-healthy choice when they really aren't. Another common trick is portion size. A label might list 300 milligrams of sodium per serving, which seems harmless at first glance. But if the package contains 3 servings and you eat the whole thing, you've actually consumed 900 milligrams in one sitting. Multiply that by breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a few snacks, and it's easy to see how quickly sodium adds up. Many people unintentionally eat 2 or 3 times their safe limit in a single day without realizing it, simply because the label looked safe. Diet or heart-healthy labels can be misleading in other ways too. Some products reduce sodium but add sugar, artificial flavorings, or potassium-based substitutes to maintain taste. For older adults with kidney issues, excess potassium can be just as dangerous as sodium, making these healthy swaps risky. A food labeled "good for your heart" may be hiding ingredients that are not good for your kidneys or blood vessels. The danger of blindly trusting labels is that it creates a false sense of security. People may eat these foods more often or in larger amounts, thinking they're safe, when in fact they're still overloading their bodies with sodium. Over time, this silent habit raises blood pressure, stiffens arteries, and forces the heart to work harder than it should. For people over 60 who already face natural changes in circulation, this can quickly become a serious health burden. The best solution is simple but powerful. Always read labels carefully. Don't rely on front-of-package claims like low salt or diet. Instead, go straight to the nutrition facts panel and look for the actual sodium number. For most adults over 60, a healthy goal is less than 1,500 milligrams of sodium per day, which breaks down to about 500 milligrams or less per meal. If you compare brands, you'll often find wide differences. One brand of bread might have twice as much sodium as another, or one type of frozen meal might be significantly lower than its competitor. Low, salt, and diet foods aren't always the safe choices they appear to be. By paying attention to what's really inside, and not just the marketing, you protect your arteries, keep blood pressure under control, and avoid falling into the traps that quietly harm your heart. After 60, this awareness can make the difference between food that supports your health and food that silently undermines it. We've now uncovered 3 of the worst salt habits: sprinkling extra salt at the table, relying on processed foods and ready meals, and trusting low salt or diet labels without reading the fine print. Each of these habits may seem small, but together they quietly overload the body with sodium, raising blood pressure and straining the heart, especially after 60. The encouraging news is that breaking these habits doesn't mean giving up flavor or convenience. With a few practical fixes, you can enjoy delicious meals while protecting circulation. Let's now explore 3 simple, heart-healthy strategies to manage salt the smart way. 1. How herbs, spices, citrus, and garlic replace salt without losing flavor. One of the easiest and most effective ways to fix harmful salt habits is to change how you flavor your food. Many people believe salt is the only way to make meals tasty, but the truth is that herbs, spices, citrus, and garlic can deliver even more flavor without the health risks of excess sodium. For people over 60, this simple swap can lower blood pressure naturally while keeping meals delicious and satisfying. Herbs and spices add complexity and depth to meals that salt alone can't provide. Basil, oregano, thyme, rosemary, and parsley bring freshness and aroma to dishes. Spices like paprika, turmeric, cumin, and black pepper create warmth and richness, turning simple ingredients into flavorful meals. These seasonings don't just reduce the need for salt, they also come with powerful health benefits. Turmeric, for example, reduces inflammation, while garlic powder helps lower cholesterol and blood pressure. Citrus fruits are another powerful alternative. A squeeze of lemon or lime can brighten the flavor of vegetables, fish, or salads in a way salt never could. Oranges and grapefruits add natural sweetness and acidity that enhance meals while also delivering vitamin C and antioxidants. The acidity stimulates the taste buds, making food more vibrant without a single grain of salt. Garlic deserves special mention. Fresh garlic not only adds a bold flavor to soups, stir-fries, and sauces, but it also supports cardiovascular health by reducing blood pressure and improving circulation. For people over 60, garlic is one of the most heart-friendly ingredients you can keep in your kitchen. The key is to experiment. Try roasting vegetables with rosemary and garlic, seasoning chicken with paprika and lemon, or sprinkling cinnamon over oatmeal. Soon, your taste buds will adjust, and you'll discover that salt isn't necessary to enjoy food, it was just a habit. Research shows that people who replace salt with herbs and spices lower their sodium intake by up to 30% without even noticing. Over time, this leads to lower blood pressure, reduced strain on arteries, and better heart health. Flavoring with herbs, spices, citrus, and garlic is more than a cooking tip, it's a lifelong strategy for protecting your heart. By embracing these natural seasonings, you reduce salt, enhance taste, and give your body the support it needs after 60. 2. Why fresh, whole foods and home cooking help you control sodium? One of the smartest ways to fix harmful salt habits is to take control of what goes into your meals. The best way to do that is by choosing fresh, whole foods and preparing them at home. For people over 60, this simple shift can drastically reduce sodium intake, lower blood pressure, and protect the heart without sacrificing flavor or satisfaction. The problem with processed and restaurant foods is that you don't control the salt. Manufacturers and chefs add large amounts of sodium to extend shelf life, boost flavor, or preserve texture. Even meals that don't taste particularly salty like bread, cereal, or canned vegetables can be loaded with hidden sodium. By the end of the day, it's easy to consume double or triple the recommended limit without realizing it. Cooking at home changes that. When you prepare your own meals, you decide how much salt to use or whether to use any at all. Fresh fruits, vegetables, beans, lean proteins, and whole grains are naturally low in sodium and packed with nutrients that support heart health. When you build meals around these foods, your body gets the fuel it needs without the sodium overload. Home cooking also allows you to experiment with healthier flavorings. Instead of relying on salt, you can use garlic, onions, citrus juice, herbs, and spices to make meals vibrant and satisfying. Roasting vegetables with olive oil and herbs, simmering soups with fresh garlic, or adding lemon zest to fish creates bold flavors naturally, proving you don't need salt to enjoy food. Another advantage is portion control. When you prepare your meals, you avoid oversized restaurant portions, which often come with twice the sodium your body needs. Smaller, balanced portions keep both sodium intake and calorie levels in check, helping to maintain a healthy weight, another key factor in controlling blood pressure. Studies show that people who primarily cook at home consume significantly less sodium than those who rely on packaged or restaurant meals. Over time, this translates to lower blood pressure, healthier arteries, and a reduced risk of stroke or heart disease. The message is simple. The more you cook at home with fresh, whole foods, the more power you have to protect your heart. By making your kitchen the center of your health, you take control of sodium and give your body the support it needs after 60. 3. How reading labels helps you control sodium and protect your heart. The third essential fix for harmful salt habits is learning to read food labels carefully. It may sound simple, but it's one of the most powerful tools for protecting your heart after 60. Labels reveal exactly how much sodium is hiding in your food, and once you know what to look for, you can make smarter choices that lower blood pressure and protect circulation. The first step is to focus on the nutrition facts panel rather than the marketing claims. Words like low sodium, reduced sodium, or light can be misleading. Instead, look directly at the sodium number. A healthy target is less than 1,500 milligrams of sodium per day for adults over 60. That breaks down to about 500 milligrams per meal. If a single serving of a food item already contains that much or more, it's a red flag. Next, check the serving size. Many packages list unrealistically small portions, which makes the sodium number look lower than it really island. If you're likely to eat the whole package, multiply the sodium content by the number of servings. You may be shocked at how much sodium is really inside. Another useful tip is to compare brands. 2 cans of soup, 2 loaves of bread, or 2 salad dressings may look the same on the outside, but the sodium content can vary dramatically. By choosing the brand with the lowest sodium, you reduce your intake without changing your diet. It's also important to keep track throughout the day. Sodium adds up quickly when it comes from multiple sources: bread, cereal, sauces, and snacks. Being mindful of your overall daily total helps you stay within safe limits. This doesn't mean eliminating all sodium. The body needs some sodium to function properly. The goal is balance, not too much, not too little. By reading labels and choosing lower sodium options, you allow your heart to work more efficiently, your arteries to stay flexible, and your blood pressure to remain under control. For people over 60, awareness is power. Every time you read a label and make a smarter choice, you're investing in healthier circulation and stronger heart function. It's a small habit that leads to a lifetime of protection. We've now seen how 3 simple habits with salt can quietly raise blood pressure and put your heart at risk after 60. Adding extra salt at the table, relying on processed foods, and trusting low salt or diet labels without reading carefully, each of these seems small on its own, but together, they overload the body with sodium and force the heart to work harder every single day. The encouraging truth is that you're not powerless. By making just a few smart changes, flavoring meals with herbs, spices, citrus, and garlic, choosing fresh whole foods and cooking at home, and reading labels to stay within a healthy sodium range, you can protect your arteries, lower blood pressure naturally, and enjoy flavorful meals without sacrificing your health. The message is simple. Managing salt isn't about restriction, it's about empowerment. Every time you make a mindful choice, you're giving your body the chance to stay strong, vibrant, and resilient well into your later years. At Active Healthcare, we believe health after 60 is built on small, sustainable habits that make a big difference. If you found this helpful, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more science-backed tips to keep your heart thriving.